You know, you prepare all season to actually get a chance to play in the playoffs. And on top of just the physical grind through the 82-game season, once you get in the playoffs, it's do or die, so it's also an emotional drain. It's important to, you know, keep your train of thought and stay in the moment. And that's what made the Sterling situation so crazy.
Welcome to downtown Los Angeles, where it's time for playoff basketball, Clippers style, as the Clippers will face the Golden State Warriors. It's game one of the best-of-7 first-round playoff series.
The first round of the 2014 NBA playoffs. This was the start of a real rivalry between these teams. Two teams in the same division, two teams in the same state. You had the Warriors with Stephen Curry, with Klay Thompson, and then you had the Clippers with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. It was a series that a lot of people were really looking forward to, and the expectation was that it was going to be a good series.
I remember game one, feeling the pressure from my players. That's something I think I've always been able to do well. I can feel their pressure.
Inside, off the glass.
And we lost game one, played awful. Our guys are tight as drums.
Green is defending Paul. Into Jordan!
Win game two, then we go there and win game three. And that's when all hell broke out. Andy Roser comes to me and says, TMZ has a tape that they may release, and it's not good, but it's no big deal, we'll get through it. And I said, okay, yeah, whatever. Honestly, I thought it was some sex tape. You know, I hate to say that, but I thought with Donald's history, I thought somehow it was some demented sex tape.
I think I was probably in a group of people that thought that it was something seedy, and not that racism isn't seedy, but that it was more of a typical LA story, if you know what I mean, and especially because it was rumored to involve a young woman. So automatically your mind is thinking, okay, this is gonna be about something that's probably gonna make me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
We were in a team meeting, and Doc just kind of gave us a warning. We had watched some film, and then he said, guys, our idiot owner went and said something stupid, and somebody got it on tape, and TMZ is going to release it tonight.
So we all kind of just laughing, like he probably said some bullshit. And I'm like, well, damn, what'd he say, you know? And so we all leave the meeting, and everybody's on their phones trying to figure out what's going on. And
Seth, our PR director, calls and says, the tape is bad. It's really bad, and it's nothing to do with sex. It's race related.
People call you and tell you that I have black people on my Instagram, and it bothers you.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot that you want to broadcast that you're associating with black people.
My head is spinning. We have a meeting in like 2 hours. I'm pissed. I didn't even know what to feel. Like, am I gonna go downstairs and talk about winning? I remember having my Clipper shirt on, and I'm looking at it, and I didn't like it.
You have to?
You associate with black people.
I'm not you, and you're not me. You're supposed to be a delicate white or a delicate Latina girl. I want you to love them privately.
I think my brother sent me a link, or he called me and was like, man, look at this.
when I listened to it, I had to listen to it again. I had to like turn it all the way up because I was like, man, he didn't just say that shit, you know?
I saw someone I admire Magic Johnson.
I think it's nice that you admire him. I know him well, and he should be admired. And I'm just saying that it's too bad you can't admire him privately and during your entire life, your whole life, admire him. Bring him here, feed him, him, I don't care. But don't put him on an Instagram so the world has to see, so they have to call me. And don't bring him into my games, okay?
All right, welcome back to SportsCenter, where we have some breaking news. A disturbing story, including the owner of one of the NBA's playoff teams. An audio recording purportedly of Los Angeles Clippers owner Donald Sterling making racist remarks to his girlfriend, V. Stiviano, is being investigated. Stiviano, who is black and Mexican, posted a picture of herself with Magic Johnson on Instagram. That photo has since been removed and was part of the discussion with her and Sterling.
There's no journalism class that you take that says, you know, in beat writing 101, when the owner gets caught on tape saying something racist about one of the most beloved figures in the sport that you cover, this is what you do.
Like, Magic Johnson is one of the most well-liked people in the world. So here he is on this tape, just crushing Magic Johnson. Like, who crushes Magic Johnson? Like, you have to hate, like, old folks, puppies, and seals to crush Magic Johnson.
You know, you asked me the question about how I felt personally. I felt like I was listening to a plantation owner. That's how I felt. When he said, why do you have to talk to black people? You know, I just don't want them at my games. One can only surmise that he looked at his own players differently than he looked at typical black dudes because he employed them. So in his mind, he owned them. But in his mind, Magic was free and free to do whatever he wanted to do, and as a result, was somehow a threat to him.
Hearing Donald Sterling talk so negatively about powerful black people. You know, I mean, and I think that was like a very big wake-up call for all of Black America, because it's another reminder that the money and the prestige and the fame, like, doesn't matter.
Where I grew up, me and my family, we lived in Louisville, which is right outside of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. When I played in high school, I was playing against a certain school, and I was playing, and I had a comment come towards me. Somebody called me the N-word during the game. But I never forget it. You know. I don't care how famous you think you are, you're always conscious of the fact that you're different.
My sister was a sophomore, and there was a kid that kept bothering her and harassing her, and he called her a nigger. She comes up to me crying and had spit in her hair, and, you know, I just went over there and beat the shit out this kid. But while suspended, the KKK completely vandalized my school, burned down a bathroom, hung a mannequin with a noose with my football jersey on it saying, "Die nigger," had swastikas all over the campus. That's when I realized that, you know, even though I'm very proud to be biracial and proud of my Italian side, that I'm looked at as a black man.
When you grow up in Virginia, you don't really understand what white privilege is. It's not something that is taught in elementary school. The best thing that ever happened to me was AAU basketball. If I had sort of stayed in my little bubble, living out in the sticks in Virginia and never, you know, picked up a basketball, I wouldn't have been exposed to the world.
We know that racism is alive. That's a fact. But man, once you get to the NBA, this is a great life. You're playing in the playoffs, trying to win a championship, and the person who owns the team, who's backing the team, who's drafting these guys, paying these guys, is the one who's saying that stuff. So it was just weird to digest.
You know, one of the obvious characteristics of pro sports in this country is that most of the quote-unquote ownership is white and the majority of the players are not. So hearing that a white owner was a racist didn't shock me, but for me, the language was so repulsive that I remember thinking immediately, this guy, he's got to go.